Good news, we're breathing. Good news, we're alive. Good news are here, and no one can deny. I say good news, we're breathing. Good news, we're alive. Good news are here, and nobody can deny. You can break my heart, you can break my bones, but no one can break my spirit, 'cause my spirit is my home. You can take my money, you can take my time, but no one can take my spirit, 'cause my spirit is mine. I say good news, we're breathing. Good news, we're alive. Good news are here, and no one can deny. Oh, good news.
Welcome to How We Live, a series for and about women finding beauty, purpose, and meaning as they enter midlife. I'm Dr. Natasha Ghosh, an educator, therapist, daughter, wife, mom, and a woman approaching 50 who's just trying to figure it all out. In this series, I'm inviting you to join us as we talk to a diverse group of women about the unique challenges and pleasures of aging in our culture. In this episode, we're exploring a topic that concerns almost every woman I talk to. As a therapist, I hear countless stories about the longest and most intimate relationship we'll ever have, the one with our own body. What woman has never been on a diet or committed to a new exercise regime only to feel like a failure when she discovers that it may not be sustainable or healthy for that matter? Emotions attached to our bodies are varied and complex. There's joy, confusion, frustration, and not surprisingly, conflict. In a world saturated with idealized images, we also have infinite ways to alter and modify ourselves. From tattoos and teeth whitening to Botox and butt lifts, how do we reconcile what we truly feel about our bodies with what we're told we should feel? In this episode, women are sharing the messages they've received about their bodies, the way they've learned to nurture themselves, and the cultural and societal pressures that shape their self-perceptions. From lotions and potions to body modifications, we'll explore how women are navigating the complex journey of loving the body they're in. What is your relationship with your body, and how has that changed over time?
My relationship with my body has definitely changed over the years. When I was a child, I really loved my body. I would, like to do the balance beam. I liked to climb up on roofs and jump off. Like I was a daredevil, and I would do stuff. I love the swing. I love to feel the power of my body, bicycling, all of that. It was very, very important to me.
And through my teenage years, where puberty hit, I put on a lot of weight as a teenager and had my good share of pimples and all of that good stuff. But it wasn't a big deal because I was in an all-girls school and nobody really said anything negative. So it was pretty, I would say, an easy teen period for me.
So when I was in grade 4, the summer between grade 4 and grade 5, I went to Colombia and hung out with my uncle at his place, and he showered me with love. Gonzalo showered me with love in the form of this sweetbread, pan dulce, and I came back in a much larger body. This is what, childhood obesity looks like. And I didn't know anything. I was just a kid. I was having the best time of my life in Colombia, and I came back, and then everything was about my weight. My mom freaked out. My parents freaked out. But you know what I mean? So there's it led to all this shame and guilt around food, which obviously made things worse. And that kind of went into my 20s too. A lot of excessive exercising, a lot of excessive dieting, binging of course as well. And just never feeling that my body was good enough.
I've always been in a larger size body. And so that was just sort of part of my self-identity, which is I'm a larger size. Although when I programmed that into my brain, I really wasn't when I was a teen.
As a mother, when I gave birth to my 2 beautiful kids, I gained 60 pounds. It was just part of the per Caesar, you can see. So I gained 60 pounds. When I lost that weight, I lost some confidence with it as well. I wasn't feeling attractive. Then I went through cosmetic surgery. I'm accepting that.
I started going through menopause at an early age, probably in my 40s, and I didn't really know that was perimenopause, my body changing, my moods changing. So in the beginning, it was strange and a little bit frightening because I wasn't sure what was happening. It's not easy when our body changes. Our bodies change all the time, from when we're a teenager going through all those hormonal changes. When you're pregnant, going through a pregnancy, your body changes like crazy.
50 is, you're not super young. Like I'm not, when I was 30, 35, prior to a car accident, all my life I was super strong and I really liked my body. I loved how strong it was and learning to accept the body that I have now. It's not the same. It's not that same when you don't have a strong body.
When I began working in the fitness industry, it was, very like bodybuilding and physique competitions and like depriving yourself and fasting and dieting. And I was on board with that. I wasn't kind to my body and I would starve it and punish it. Then I realized that wasn't serving anything. I wasn't getting to where I wanted to be to feel good in my body.
So I cannot constantly be at war with my body, which I feel like I've spent at least 3 decades in. And I would love to tell you that every day is perfect and I never struggle anymore. And I look at myself every day and I'm like, you're amazing, kid. You're gorgeous, nice body.
When I started to become more extroverted and I started to become conscious of my body because I was meeting people and then I was, watching movies, reading books, and it started to become familiar with different body types and all that, I decided I've got to do something to get fit and get strong. And so I got into martial arts and I became very physically, active, lost weight and felt, really good about my strength and what I could do and things like that.
I have to be the person that takes care of it. And that means spiritually, physically, all of it. Because if I don't take care of it and I'm another one who's beating it, saying, what's wrong with you? Why isn't this staying up here? Why isn't this, I'm just adding on to it. So how do I take care of my body? By recognizing when it's tired to freaking rest, when I haven't nourished it properly, to eat something decent.
But I still struggle and I still have my moments, but I've never felt more secure in this thing. Yeah, I love, the human body's a marvel.
It's like trying to reframe that as, look at my amazing body, what it can do. Look what it can do, and look how it can heal, and look what it can produce.
Being able to give me what I want it to do. All that stuff I used to do when I was young, I'm still doing it. I love the fact that I can still ski. I love the fact that I can still get on the water because I'm taking care of myself.
So at 50, I don't really enjoy my body. It's functional, it works. It's different than it was before. So it's not hiking. I'm going for long walks, but not hiking, not dancing. Sex is gonna, it's just not what it was. And so there's this different feeling at 50 and it's actually okay. It's not like I'm upset. I'm no longer craving that other part of myself. I was for years, missing it, wanting it, feeling bad about not being strong.
Now it's like, well, this is it. This is what I have. And I can respect it in a way that allows it to keep showing up for me, and I keep showing up for it.
I think physical transformation for me has only been a tiny component of all of the changes, because for me, I don't feel like the same person that I was a year ago or even 2 years ago at all. And I'm just I'm not the same person at all anymore.
I think I accepted myself for who I am, how I look at a very young age. I think that's a gift I gave myself. I've never really been too concerned or bothered about looks, generally speaking, mine or another person's. So it's not been a big deal for me how my body has changed over the years.
It's a friendship now. We're good.
I'm wondering if you recall any stories that shaped how you feel about your body.
Probably the biggest thing that changed with my body, or like the moment that things really started to change, and I've told the story before, but like in 2019, I got pregnant and I had a miscarriage. And then in 2020, I got pregnant again and I had a miscarriage again, and it destroyed me. And I've never been more angry at my body than I was in that moment. And so I ended up working with someone that does like body practices, and she led me through an exercise that really changed the game.
I have spent most of my adult life severely overweight, and I realize now that that was a coping mechanism of basically hiding from my inability to read intentions of other people.
When I was younger, I was extremely dark complexioned, and so my cousins and family members would tease me.
Because I had a gap in my teeth with a pencil in it, so he would call me the gap. And I remember how that affected me.
She asked me like, okay, imagine you and your body are sitting across the table from each other. What do you want to say to your body? And I let it out. I've been working so hard my whole life to make you look good. And this time I did everything right, and all you had to do was like follow through with this thing that meant so much to me, and you didn't do it again. You let me down again. And she's like, okay. And she's like, okay, what does your body want to say to you? And then I took a beat and thought about it. And what my body wanted to say to me is like, you never consider me. You never think about my needs. It's always just about what you think I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, one story that comes to mind that sort of shaped how I felt about my body early on was when I did my fitness instructor training. And I remember my mentor being one of the fittest people I had ever met. But she had sort of an unconventionally body type that wasn't what people would consider beautiful. And I thought, wow, she is super fit, and that's the way her body looks, and her shape is never going to change. It's going to be a slightly larger version of that shape or smaller. And so that's probably like what about with my body too. So I better just start loving it now, because this is the body I have.
My mother heard this, saw this, and she just walked in, breezed in, and then she came close to me, held me, and then she whispered to me and she said, he's just very jealous that you have the complexion of Lord Krishna. And I remember just, standing tall and being least bit bothered by the comment.
And again, it's not like everything just changed instantly, but it reframed that this is the closest relationship that I will ever have in my life. There is no relationship that's more intimate or closer than the relationship that I will have with my body.
All of a sudden I was able to see that oh, actually no, people flirt with me and I'm flirt-withable, and that's fun. But the only shift was actually the internal one. So until I was willing to see that and accept that for myself, I couldn't even see that existed in others. Yeah.
What are your feelings about injections and surgery?
Yeah, great question. I think in our society, we do body modifications all the time. We have tattoos, we get our nails done, we get our eyelashes done, our eyebrows, our hair, etc. And injections and surgery are just an extension of that.
I know there's so much that is being developed that you can do. I don't love it. I don't think that it is necessarily healthy for people, only because if they go down that road of I'm not enough and I need to change how I look.
And I think there's two pools of thinking about that. How do I feel about that for myself versus how do I feel about that for other people? I believe in body autonomy, and I believe that we all get to decide, this is ours for life, and we get to decide what we do to it, for better or for worse.
What makes me nervous, or when friends tell me that they're getting that done, the thing that I most want to check in about and that makes me nervous is like why are they doing it? And like is it from a place of like this is something that they want for them versus is this something that they think is expected or is needed by others? And I think that that's like a valid question to ask ourselves with anything, including tattoos or how we do our hair.
In this world, we live in this modern world, so many people, they live with physically, they have these defects. We have this technology to fix it. Why we have to live with the sadness, or why we have to feel less confidence compared to the other people? If we can do this, I think there shouldn't be any issue.
You should do whatever you feel makes you feel. You should do it for you. If you really want to do something that feels good to you, then like it's your body. It should be your choice.
It's unfortunate that we have to go to those lengths to feel better about ourselves. I don't feel like I have the right to judge anyone who decides to do surgeries and injections and all that.
Especially as somebody who's been in a larger size body that is currently shrinking, then at some point, you know, I may choose to do that because like my skin is not the size of my current body, never mind my future body. And like, I'm not at all opposed to doing that.
You know, I might get to the point too where I'm like, well, I just don't like the way things are sagging down here. And you know, so I think everyone is different, but to change the way you look completely is going with the program that you're not enough the way you are right now. And I think that that's dangerous, and I think that it can be addicting for people.
I know so many incredibly beautiful women who just see their self differently and just keep pushing the boundary with that. And I don't feel like it's bringing them the happiness that they hope that it will.
They're doing it the way they think they know, or that's going to help them. I mean, I'm taking care of my own body. You know, I wasn't kidding when I said exercise and sleep, but yeah, I do Botox. I mean, I hate the frown lines, so I'm really mad right now.
If I can ask, have you done anything, and what motivated you to do so, and how do you feel about that?
I have not. I'm really scared of needles. And I don't have the time to invest in that kind of thing. Sometimes I think like, oh, should I be doing that too? But
Literally the day I turned 40, I looked in the mirror and I was like, where did all these wrinkles come from? Like the day of my 40th birthday, I was like, what the F? I've never seen these before, and now my face is covered in them. And my husband doesn't know this, but I made like an appointment for Botox that day.
And I remember my girlfriend saying, you should go get Botox. And I'm like, well, what is it? What is it? I mean, you hear about it, but what really is it? And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna go get Botox. I guess they put like a couple around my crow's feet and stuff like this. Well, for me personally, what happened was it froze these muscles here. And so when I smiled, it made this like huge pucker that came down here on my face. And everybody after that for months would be like, are you okay? You look so tired. And I was like, well, that didn't really work.
You know, it took care of those wrinkles, and I'm like, oh, I could see how you could like this. I could see like we are aesthetic people, you know, and I could see how like you would look in the mirror with a change and be like, that's how I would like to look.
I think we should really question our motivation for doing something to our body, and if it feels authentically good and it will help us feel better about ourselves, then I say absolutely go for it. But it's not interesting to me to pursue that, but I absolutely support anybody who wants to do that for themselves. And maybe I'll change my mind one day. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
How does having the perkier boobs again, or taking the weight off, how does that bring confidence?
No, that doesn't. That does not change anything. You don't change just changing your body types, because Natasha, you are gonna meet, I'm sure you're meeting so many women, and you will meet so many women who have done those procedures, but they still don't have any confidence, and they feel like, no, they have to keep doing things just to feel confident. It doesn't come from those surgeries at all. No, No, it comes with your own growth. Those are you're doing for yourself just to keep you, yeah, I feel good. Not to feel empowered. No, empoweredness doesn't come with cosmetic surgery.
As a mother of daughters, I am so aware of how my actions and choices may impact them. And I'm curious to know, when you make choices about your appearance, do you feel any responsibility to other women or the next generation to keep it real?
Yeah, that's something I think about a lot, is how I'm impacting my girls and my friends and the women around me.
Of course, it does impact. Anything we do front of our kids, it goes in their subconscious mind, no matter what we say. I have seen my kids copying the same behavior, even I tell them not to do that. But they have seen me doing that.
The more that we can be transparent and authentic to the level that we feel comfortable, like I think that that's valuable. I think that that we are all human. The more that we can show that we are human, the more that it makes it safe for other people to feel that they can show up as their full human selves.
My 2 small acts of resistance, if I may call it that, has been choosing never to color my hair. And I've never have colored my hair. And so I've been able to just accept that. That's what happens as you get older.
That is my biggest goal at this stage in my life, is to walk my talk.
I think the big conversation I think we need to have with our children, which I do have with my 2 sons, is if you don't love yourself, you don't embrace yourself and your body for what it is, you can't expect others to have respect for you, right? And this is what's within our control.
What I learned as an actor was the best thing that I could do was be me. That question again, like, here I am, this is sort of my personality, here's who I am. And when I came to the table with that, it changed their minds about what they were looking for. Oh, that's good, that's what we're looking for.
Allowing yourself to note what feels good and what doesn't, and having the agency to say, I don't like that. Like, even just like, can I tickle you? And like, oh, I like that, scratch me here. And I always say to her, like, that's so awesome that you know what feels good to your body.
Your uniqueness of what makes you you is what draws people to you like a magnet.
And this is what's within our control, to care about ourselves, be kind to ourselves, respect ourselves, and love the way we look, which is so unique.
Well, one thing is for sure, if we're lucky enough to live a long life, our bodies will age. With each passing decade, we'll look different. That's the natural progression of things. Gravity is real, our cells have a lifespan, and every living thing follows the cycle of life and death. Many women I know, including myself, have cast a critical eye towards their bodies since childhood. Too fat, too thin, too short, too tall, not enough here, too much there. Yet with each passing decade, they often look back and ask, what was I even thinking? The women we've heard from today remind us that how we see ourselves isn't static. It evolves with time, experience, and the messages we choose to embrace or reject. Cosmetic interventions, the lotions, potions, needles, and scalpels tell a story of winning the fight against aging. But is this really a fight we need to win? And where does it end? Does it help us embrace health, happiness, and wholeness? I'm not sure it does. What would happen if we embrace the biological progression of our bodies as beautiful? The wrinkles around eyes that have laughed a lot, the scars and folds of bodies that have loved and birthed life, or the shape of hands that have worked hard and created things. Perhaps the key is curiosity. Enough to stop asking, how should I look, and start asking, how do I want to feel? Eleanor Roosevelt said, beautiful young people are accidents of nature, but beautiful old people are works of art. It's time to start creating some masterpieces. I hope you'll join us next time as we explore another deeply personal topic, that of love, sex, intimacy, and desire after 40. Until then, I'm Dr. Natasha Ghosh, reminding you that life can be messy. So at the risk of sounding like a Hallmark card from Grandma, Show yourself some love, trust the process, and lean into all the feels, because this is how we live.
I am from adventure, from canoes and rock pools. I am from the vagabond life, unsettled, longing, aching. I am from earth, water, fire, and air. I'm from intellect and denial, from Roscoe's and Griffiths, from the Protestant and post-war lineage, from stiff upper lips and joyful music. I'm from Turtle Island, coast to coast, north to south, from roast chicken and scrambled eggs, from the selfish and the martyr, the explosive and implosive, the tucked away, the forgotten.